welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. And today on the show, we are live from Maya Cinemas to talk about the Fantastic Four: First Steps. I know a lot of people were super excited about this one, and I'm excited to talk about it. We've got joining me over at Maya Cinemas, Markle, Faith Nault, and CJack, and we get into a lot of great puzzle pieces, some fun audience participation, get into a lot of great stuff here. So that is coming up in a second. Before we get to it, you know what? You know where to follow and subscribe and all those good things. I want to plug our next few live shows because they're coming up fast. So before we get to today's show, I just want to mention next Friday, August 1st, we will be at Downtown Cinemas for The Naked Gun. Then the following Thursday, August 7th, we will be back at Maya Cinemas for Weapons. And then at the end of August, Friday, August 29th, we'll be back at Downtown Cinemas for The Toxic Avenger. There will be a whole lot of information in the show notes and on piecingpod.com, as well as chances to win tickets for all of these movies and live podcasts. So check all that out. I hope to see you out at some of these shows. And with that said, let's talk about the Fantastic Four: First Steps. All right, so we're going to get this podcast started here. I'm David Rosen, the host of the Piecing It Together podcast, and we are going to get into Fantastic Four, although really I'd rather talk about that Avatar trailer for the next 45 minutes, but we'll save that for another podcast sometime. But let's start off by introducing our guest here, Faith Nault, returning to the show. Faith, introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm Faith. I'm a local filmmaker here, and I'm also a Twitch streamer now. Weird to say. But yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. Happy to have you back. Markle, also back to the show. Introduce yourself.
Very happy to be here as well. Just finished my film degree at CSN.
Amazing.
So pretty happy about that. Gonna go back there this semester for a jazz ensemble. Excited about that as well. Love superheroes, love movies, and I'm excited to be here to talk about it.
Right on. CJack joining us for the first time. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, everybody. CJack here from CJack Productions on YouTube. Feel free to check that out. Hashtag CJack Productions. Also join my following on Facebook and CJ's Random. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So people who listen to the show know I'm not a big superhero guy, and I knew, though, that the hype for this was super, super huge because the adaptations of the Fantastic Four have just kind of never worked before, and also bringing it into the MCU is just kind of like a major deal for comic book fans. So yeah. I think, I just said I'm not a big superhero fan, but let's just kind of get it out there. How big of a superhero fans are you three before we get into some puzzle pieces here?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say very much so.
Yeah.
I've very much a superhero fan since I was little, more and more as I've gotten older and understood how different filmmakers and writers could take these different stories and superheroes and make some really bad ones or make some really, really cool ones, some really deep ones. So this was definitely up there for one of the higher ones that I enjoyed, yeah.
Right on. Mm-hmm. What about you, Faith?
Yeah, I started watching, my sister forced me to watch all the Marvel movies one summer, and then I took a Marvel studies class at UNLV, so I kind of rewatched it all in chronological order twice, 2 summers in a row. So I kind of just threw myself in it, but it all started at WandaVision because my sister was obsessed staying up watching it, and I was like, this can't be that good. Then I watched one of the later episodes, and I was like, wait a minute, this is really phenomenal. So then I always watched Guardians because I like James Gunn,
sure.
But I kind of engrossed myself into Marvel, and then DC kind of became the next thing that I kind of enjoyed. So I just kind of fell into loving the superhero genre.
What grade did you get in that Marvel class?
Oh, an A.
Oh, perfect. Okay, good. Then you're welcome here then. Otherwise, you'd kick you off.
I had essays I had to do about Marvel cinematic studies.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Amazing. And CJack, how about you? I know you're a big superhero guy.
Oh, yes. It comes with the territory. 80s baby. You know, that I grew up in most of this stuff. Originally, I was a DC head.
Okay.
You know, Batman was my soulmate and whatnot. Actually, soon as I will never forget, because my birthday goes with the year when it started with 08 with Robert Downey Jr. becoming Iron Man. I was 28, and I was like, Disney's taking production? That was the first thought I want to have there. When Disney took over, I was like, what are they going to do? Have Wolverines with flowers instead of claws? But they didn't neuter them, you know? And I loved it since, and they kept the continuity going.
Yeah, and it's worked out pretty well for them so far. So, but obviously the last few years have not been as successful. So we'll see. We're watching this obviously like right as it comes out. We'll see how this does, and if this is the hit that they really needed to kind of like get that next phase going. But that being said, the main idea with piecing it together is we take a look at a movie through the lens of what movies might have inspired it. And so we call those movies puzzle pieces. We're going to talk about a bunch of puzzle pieces, a bunch of movies that we think might have inspired Fantastic Four in some way. And we may get into some Marvel stuff, some superhero stuff, maybe some other stuff as well. I jotted down a few things, and honestly, I liked this movie. I liked it more than I was expecting to, but a lot of my pieces are kind of a little ridiculous. So I'm just going to say that right up front because I'm kicking it off right now. We're talking about a CGI-heavy, over-the-top, kind of ridiculous, giant popcorn blockbuster that's all about family.
Yes.
Fast and the Furious is my first puzzle piece here because it really... all of this, all the action, all the excitement, all of the CGI, all of the, everything going on in this, it really all just comes back to that one simple theme. Family.
If I may hop in there, you would think what you just said just screams aneurysm of like autistic nightmare. But it worked in this film. It wasn't too much over the top, at least in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this outer space stuff gets a little big, a little crazy, but I don't know. It's all over the place, but in a way that I felt like they kind of reined it in enough that it felt like a movie. And I guess you can go back to the earlier Fast and the Furious films before they really jumped the shark, although I love later Fast and Furious films, but that's that's me. But anyway, just the family aspect of it is really hammered home, and it helps to kind of rein things in, and it reins things in there, reins things in here. But Fast and Furious, my first puzzle piece. What do you got, Faith? What are we going with?
All right, this is gonna be stupid. But then it kept popping in my head. Okay. I'm gonna say Oppenheimer. Hear me out. Hear me out. I mean, you got Reed Richards, who's like panicking because he doesn't know what to do, and he's messing with his blackboard all the whole movie. It's Oppenheimer. But the opposite is it's like Oppenheimer's not about family. He's very much, he's kind of about family, but not to the extent of the Fantastic Four. So I think in a way it's an antithesis to it, but at the same time it's Reed Richards calls out his own flaws, and I think Oppenheimer doesn't do that. So they're kind of interesting to look at both those characters. Yeah,
that's a really interesting dynamic there because like he's so smart, he can figure anything out, but if he screws it up, we're all screwed. And so like that's Oppenheimer.
I think that's a great comparison actually.
Yeah.
I agree with that. In fact, if the times were different, it would have been the keyboard. No, it's just the chalkboard. He drafts. That's what he does. That's a very good point out there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Perry, let's go to one from you.
All right. So I don't know, maybe this is an obvious one, maybe not, but I was thinking Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Especially the scene where Galactus is looking down at the four of them. Totally looks like the scene where they're walking down the hallway and they meet Oz for the first time. Mm-hmm. Just this, Oz was more of a fraud, but no, this is definitely more of a threat. But just visually, definitely a comparison.
No, I think that's a good one. And it's funny, though, like you said, he's more of a fraud. This is more of a threat. But he also kind of, I don't know, I feel like a gigantic god monster creature should have been more of a threat. Like he kind of just screwed up his whole thing. He really should have defeated them in every single way, but no.
But I'll bite. That's a good comparison too.
Yeah, absolutely. CJack, let's go to one from you.
Old school. I was a former theater head, so forgive me. I was thinking the Odyssey. Most of the Icarus comparisons, you're going up against impossible odds. Granted, a lot of movies have that for protagonists and whatnot, but this one just screams like, you know what? You're trying to sympathize, the Silver Surfer sympathize with characters. That was basically the sirens and all that stuff of the sailors. But anyway, it gave me that not Ben-Hur, but I said it right, the Odyssey kind of vibe, like a retro. Yeah. Like it brought me back to like when films were good. How's that?
Well, it's true. I was talking to one of my friends, right as the credits were rolling, and like we were saying, like this feels like a movie, unlike a lot of recent Marvel movies. You know what I mean? And there's a lot going on here, but it all kind of is cohesive in a way that feels very cinematic, and like it has a big story to tell. And I mean, they're setting up not only Fantastic Four in the MCU, but the next phases of the MCU and continuing what's come before. And so it's really got a lot to balance. And, you know, something like the Odyssey, which is, of course, just, you know, a classic piece of storytelling, balances so much. And so, yeah, I think that works really well.
There were two aspects, if I may. I thought they were going with it because it said Earth 868, right? Correct, guys?
I
It
think
was
so.
828.
828.
Okay.
I thought Reed was going to send the Earth into. I was like, how does it correlate? How are they going to make it into modern phases? You saw when I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Please.
to continue, I definitely thought the ending of this movie was going to be different. I thought Galactus was going to win.
Right.
You just felt it, and especially, you know, spoilers for Thunderbolts, but the post-credit scene of that movie shows their rocket ship entering, you know, their Earth. So something happens in between, you know, so the time difference of where that's going to fit in is really interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely did not see Galactus.
I even rocked his shoulders. We thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
I actually thought they were going to show up in the last scene of Endgame. It seemed like that was the kind of thing that they were going for.
No. Yeah, we're here.
Yeah,
I was
so-
agreeing with that.
Yeah.
They do that often. They often do like an end credit. Well, they used to do it back when they were, you know, still releasing them in the first couple phases. They would
Phase
do
two,
an
phase three, yeah.
yeah, they would do an end credit scene, and you'd see that end credit scene in the next movie that they
Yeah.
were doing. So that's why I think I agree. I thought we'd see the spaceship coming in, and then, you know, cue Florence Pugh or whoever, right?
Sure,
but
sure.
but we didn't. So I'm kind of curious where that is.
Yeah. They have a lot of threads to
But
tie
they've
up
had to
in
do
that
that
next
since
movie.
Deadpool and Wolverine. They have a bunch of threads they have open.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to go for my next puzzle piece. Talking about Vanessa Kirby here.
Stole the show.
She's
She was
great.
awesome.
Absolutely
she was
great.
so cool.
So I'm going to go with the very ridiculous puzzle piece, a 2020 film called Pieces of a Woman that she got an Oscar nomination for, where she goes through a very, very traumatic and difficult childbirth. And there's a lot of screaming involved, a lot of pain, a lot of
check that out,
heartache.
actually.
And spoilers for that movie, but I mean, things do not go very well, and the rest of the movie is picking up the pieces from there. But the first 12 minutes of the movie are just literally an unbroken shot of her going through this horrible delivery. And they saw that and said, okay, we're going to have, what's her name, Sue Storm? Have Sue Storm just screaming up a storm.
Like, hey, in this scene, you're going to redo your former work.
Yes, you
first
almost
12
won. You
minutes?
almost won an Oscar for that
No,
that
seriously.
delivery. So let's have you do it here. So
Well, she's in space.
and in
The
space,
she's in space.
The
adds
stakes
a little
are higher.
little extra stakes. Absolutely. So Pieces of a Woman, good movie. Let's go to another one over here, Faith.
This might be cheating, but I was going to say WandaVision because the director directed some of the episodes. But
True.
the reason is I think that a lot of us can agree that WandaVision was very good. I'm biased, but I think everybody would still agree. But the reason I bring it up is because I feel like Marvel is doing pretty well with these, not flashback movies, but these more period pieces that they're doing. So, you know, WandaVision goes through all the decades, and then we have this. I was kind of thinking maybe at one point they'd throw in a little, like one of the radio feeds would have something relating to it, just because I think that would have been cool.
Sure.
But hey, I'm not directing it, but not yet. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I thought that it's a good. Definitely, they took from that because he did direct pieces of WandaVision. But I also think that how do you not make a movie like this and not draw on those decades that you're doing them from? Right?
No, sure, absolutely. Yeah, a little bonus puzzle piece just to kind of throw in with that. But I kept thinking of the Jetsons with this, which I'm
Yeah.
sure there's a lot of probably with the original Fantastic Four, a lot of back and forth inspiration going on between the two of those.
What was it, the 60s? Like late 60s, 70s?
Yeah.
With the oversized boob tubes and the TVs are, before they've been LED, they were antenna years, you know.
Yeah, the little robots and the flying cars.
Rosies.
And,
Yeah, retro futuristic.
Yeah, thank you.
absolutely.
I couldn't think of it.
There you
Yeah, but
go.
I also, if I could jump in again, another reason I thought about it is because, again, Wanda's in labor in one of the episodes. We got Vanessa Kirby in labor. We have this, like, are these kids going to be normal or have powers? Is
Sure,
this kid going to
yeah,
be
yeah.
normal
I was
have
thinking
powers?
Jack.
Right, I was also
Yeah,
thinking
totally.
Jack. But yeah, but I think there's a lot of elements. I mean, obviously, it's super women having children, but, like, I think there's a lot of, you can kind of see there's a lot of influence on this movie with WandaVision.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Harry, let's go to one from you.
So sticking with the baby, this might be niche, but I'll say season 3 of Squid Game. Very much any Squid Game. No reaction.
I've never actually watched it.
Okay. Well, season 3 definitely involves a baby.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Squid Game, obviously, not too many people can survive by the end. So this dichotomy of like the rest of the world, they're like, well, just sacrifice one for all of us kind of thing. And obviously from her perspective, it's her child, how could they? Squid Game, very similar of, well, for the sake of us, it's beneficial to get rid of this baby kind of thing.
Sure.
So watch Squid Game season 3 for sure.
Okay, the one versus the many, and like
Yes.
what's
well, and
yeah.
specifically with the baby, like
Yeah.
this innocent, has nothing to do, well, as far as we know, for Franklin, but
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely. CJack, let's go to another one over there.
Star Trek, believe it or not, when Spock said, outweigh the many, the few.
Yeah.
And that powerful, oh my God, it just hit me. The Independence Day speech, basically indirectly with her.
Yeah.
Like, we won't go silently into the night, but instead, I'm not going to sacrifice I guess it was kind of like John Q, actually. But I won't sacrifice my baby for Earth, but Earth I'm going to now sacrifice for you. And I was like, oh, right in the feels, It
Sure.
just-
Absolutely. I was thinking about Independence Day. It's almost like a reverse Independence Day in a way where we are the ones who set up the things all over the planet, where
True.
the other way, the aliens set it up all over the planet, and then, when
consider
the
that.
clock ticks. But you also get the coverage of the shadow and all that kind of stuff with Galactus and all that. But great, the speech and all that. And we just rewatched Independence Day, 4th of July, and it's so good. It's just the best.
Not part 2, right?
No, absolutely. I'll never watch that.
Don't even acknowledge that.
No, that didn't even happen. I'll go with one more here. So this has to go with that big battle with Galactus, when Reed is like climbing him, and I was thinking of the video game Shadow of the Colossus. Yeah. He's got to make his own makeshift ways up him and like climbing up things and everything like that, and dodging things that are swinging off him and stuff like that. I believe they're actually making a movie of Shadow of the Colossus, if I'm not mistaken.
There was now this I follow this. They are working on a script. The problem is they have the pieces of all the, no pun intended, with all the characters and people writing. Okay, what time era? How are we going to do this and bring back the original cast, or do we keep everything original? The problem is, I think it was a conflict between CBS and Paramount at the time, because they showed it on film before my time, even before me.
Huh.
And there's a conflict in who gets the rights for it, basically.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, all those kinds of properties, those video game properties, they always seem to get tied up in like who knows
In
what.
the game format, right?
Yeah. It would be interesting though if that makes its way into. I mean, obviously this shows that a sequence like that could work. So if you build a cool story around it, maybe it could possibly work. But let's go to one more over here.
Okay, this is also might be an interesting poll, but you mentioned video games. I'm gonna say Pixels, because
Okay.
Pixels definitely had the big weird fight scenes with crazy creatures, and I think you mentioned the big shadow and Galactus. They do that. I think I like Pixels. I know it's not like a popular.
It's not
fan
as
favorite,
bad
but
as
it's
its reputation.
It's
It's
goofy,
fun.
but
It's
I
fun
think
one.
it's a lot of fun. So I mean, you got Pac-Man just in the streets, like fighting little. What are they? Little cars.
Yeah, he eats his creator.
Yes.
He eats the creator
Yeah, I
of
mean,
Pac-Man.
and like I just think it's goofy, and I think there's elements of it in any street fights with massive beings from space. And
Yeah.
I think that's definitely some influence there.
Well, spoiler alert, but I will be using Pixels as a puzzle piece on our Tron Ares episode when that comes out in September or whenever that was. So,
Oh, cool.
yeah, it looks pretty fun. Perry, let's go to one from you.
I didn't want to necessarily use like past Marvel ones, but the ones that definitely jumped out were Captain America: The First Avenger, and obviously Guardians of the Galaxy. Captain America because it's set in around that time, 50s, kind of 60s,
Sure.
around that time. A lot of the clothing was similar. A lot of those early time period things, and then obviously Guardians of the Galaxy because space. With that, it kind of felt like, I don't know, like too intangible kind of space, if that makes sense. This one felt like you're going to space, like that liftoff. It looked real. It just felt like super tangible. So that was my other one. But aside from Marvel, I'll just say Star Wars: A New Hope, when they're flying obviously the Millennium Falcon and Han's giving out those commands like Ben is, and then Chewie is like Johnny with like the guns and everything. So
Yeah.
those are some other ones.
Well, I thought you were going to say Eternals when you said other Marvel
You know
properties.
what? I didn't write that down. Yes.
They look the same.
They-
Don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with like the size.
I'll support that.
Eternals was a great theater watch, not like a great movie, but a great theater watch because of the scale of it.
Yeah.
Lots of really cool visuals. So definitely the size of like those Eternals to like Cersei and the other Eternals versus Galactus.
Not a great movie is a very nice way to put it.
Yeah.
That's the nicest I've ever heard. Yeah.
It's so bad, but this felt like a much better version of what they were doing
Yeah,
there, and
yeah.
But yet again, we've never heard of Galactus in our Earth or in our Marvel.
Yeah, as a
Like we-
non-fan, I was a little confused about all that. Like, all this stuff is happening. I understand it's a different Earth, a different, like...
Yeah, but we still don't know about what we do with Captain America. But we didn't know anything about the Eternals bad guy for like a bunch of movies.
Like 6 movies or something.
I was like, oh, good thing I forgot it anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
The internal, no pun intended, eternal plot hole they have there.
Yep, 100%.
Literally.
Yeah. Let's go to one more from you, CJack.
I had it in my, I was agreeing with you too, and I got it in my head. Basically, you know what? Strange New Worlds. I just started watching that. Old Trekkie here. So the teleportation, the colors, it wasn't oversaturated. It wasn't too. One of my audience here mentioned that. It wasn't bad for like people who had a condition or whatnot, and they can deal with that. There were lights and then the technology, and like he said, like Johnny. And let me point out something. Johnny and Ben, they didn't make them stereotypically idiots. They are good in their crafts. You know, Johnny.
Sure.
Yeah, Ben's a great pilot, obviously. And that's what made me think of Star Trek. I was like, okay, take the helm, take the shot. I need you to get this. And like he said with, the Han Solo, the good shooting kid, that kind of thing, trying to shoot the Silver Surfer. So yeah, I'm going with that.
Right on, right on. I've never seen that. That's is that one of the Star Trek series?
It's a spinoff. It's at a 10 at being a Trekkie, again biased like that. I give it a 6. It's not too bad, but I'm a Trekkie anyway. But it gives you that command and that the light consoles you saw. It gives you that vibe.
Okay, very cool. Right on. Well, I want to open up to the floor, see if we got anything out in the crowd. But before we do, sorry, Gina, my wife, I want to just kind of put you on the spot really quick because Gina has not seen a superhero movie since the first Iron Man in 2008. And what did you think? Because since 2008, superhero movies have
a lot.
completely taken over the entire world of movies.
Of course.
And it's impressive that you've managed to not
So,
go to any of these.
I completely understand why I haven't, because this movie is complete trash.
Thank you. All right, cool. That's amazing.
I did not like it at all.
Yeah.
It was awful. In fact, I was trying to find meaning in it that wasn't there because I was so bored. I was like reading into things. I'm like, oh, that dude is like, he represents the universe. And this, like, I wasn't even like watching the movie because
Yeah.
I was so bored and it was just trash.
I think there's maybe in the last 17 years of these movies, maybe like 3 you would like. But like for the most part, though, it is kind of like this,
And I
right?
also
I
didn't
mean,
She might actually like Black Widow. Actually,
Black
She
Widow.
likes
Black Widow's
story.
a
I
straight
mean,
up
I
action
like
movie
Black
with
Widow.
Here with
characters,
this.
you know.
Did you
But
watch?
I was gonna say I also didn't know like where in the timeline this story is falling, so I was also
No,
very
no.
confused because I was like, why are
Agreed.
these people so old?
Yeah.
They're having a baby.
So
Like
old.
what was that?
Wow.
Okay.
Jeez.
Funny.
That's
No, I
awesome.
don't mean that in a bad way at
Yeah.
all. I think it's great. but
I
just
appreciate the no
mean
filter.
Yeah.
There's
Absolutely.
nothing wrong with that at all,
Yeah.
but it's just not something like how does that fit in with the superhero?
Well, this is like what the 60s.
You
Or?
want me? I got you.
Yes.
Want me to-
Yes,
Okay,
the
I'll-
fake 60s, but so you know.
I'll support you on this. So, did you see any of the phases? Phases being not no mansplaining, but 08. Did you see Iron Man 1 or anything?
That's
like
the last one she saw. Iron Man 1.
that? Okay, so they went in chronological order. Short version is most of the movies were really solid, and they went in the consistency that you're talking about. But the problem is the last. What were we in? 5, 4? Help me out.
I think 5.
Five.
Yeah.
Five.
And actually, I'm going to piggyback on my next
like
point.
the end
It
of
didn't
5,
push
actually.
any agendas, whether you're woke, whether you're this. I'll leave it alone at that.
Yeah.
If you notice, you got to give it that, which is
Yeah.
fell victim in the last phase or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what's steering a lot of, we call it in the nerd society, we call you guys norms, away from the theater, if that helps. So
Yeah.
that's a good perspective.
Yeah, and I don't think like I think it's actually really cool that they showed like these people like in a demographic that they don't normally show in movies.
Mm.
I just thought like it's supposed to be a prequel, so why are they
So
older?
it's sort of a
That's
prequel.
why I was really confused.
The thing is, we were just talking about it, but there's different Earths in different dimensions, and this is a different Earth than the ones that we've been watching for the last 17 years. So this is going
There's
to
actually, to confuse you even more, in like 3 movies, there's a whole other person it's John Krasinski and not
the guy from
Pedro
Office.
Pascal.
Yeah,
as
plays the
Reed
Pedro
Richards.
Pascal character.
And there's a different, there's a different everything. Like, technically, if you watch like Deadpool and Wolverine, you'll see that there's Johnny Storm is not that one, it's Chris Evans' version, but it's also like
I forgot
in
about
this
that. Yeah.
whatever, I don't even know what they called it, like a wasteland or something. So
That
like
was in WandaVision. What was he was? You just said his name from The Office.
Chris
That
Evans.
was in
John Krasinski.
Yeah, that was in the dark one that
It was in Doctor Strange 2.
It
right,
was in
which was really dark.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Right.
But don't get me started on that one.
No, go
That's
ahead.
a different podcast.
No,
I'm completely lost at this point. Do we have any puzzle pieces out here in the crowd? Anybody? Right here.
I'm like Gina. I'm not really into the what's this called?
Superhero
Comic
stuff.
movie,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I found it a little more entertaining than her. I've seen a few since Iron Man.
Yeah.
As your mom would say.
Eh.
That's for Sunny.
I usually do like superhero stories.
You like the cool, like the Tim Burton and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that and I like origin stories.
Right,
And
right,
I was
origin stories.
expecting this to be an origin story, and
And
that's
this
why
is
I was
what-
so confused.
Well, so that's why I kind of like that. It didn't show it showed the origins, but we kind of already seen the origin story, and so this, just as James Gunn's Superman, was so refreshing in both DC and Marvel. Totally new starts that could totally like reset kind of thing. These past handful of like Marvel movies, specifically like the Marvel TV shows, there's like too many different hands have been attached to these Marvel projects and their own ideas, and some of them have been like really bad. They had a great person to take the lead of this movie. So just like the direction of like where Marvel can go from here, I think it's on the up and up again. Because for a while it was like, stale at best kind of thing.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts, yeah, good, but this totally different feel. Just like it, this is what past superhero movies have lacked. Like we want to see live action comic book. We want to see a stretchy, Mr. Fantastic. We don't want to see like gritty, to like future, like Snyder, or like futuristic, or like put it to tech. Like show us their powers. Like let them be live action comic books. All these different, cool things that we got to see in this movie that have lacked in prior Marvel projects.
Yeah,
so.
that's fair enough.
And I'll move along, Dave. And one last part. What doesn't also help you is the fact that, and everybody on this panel will agree, is that there was there was 3 attempts of this film. Fantastic Four. And there was the Snyder one that was really dark. Like he likes to groom stuff. Like I'm a Batman fan, but that doesn't apply to everything. I agree with you completely. You know what I mean? So that's why they were going older. They're trying to find the formula. Hell, Michael B. Jordan was one. One of the members. I'm like,
That's right. I forgot about that.
Like I often say, like I don't like all DC. I haven't seen all the DC movies. I like the villain ones. And I like James Gunn, so I'm automatically kind of getting more into
doesn't
it.
miss.
But I will say, if I compare Marvel to DC, DC's gonna kill off that character. They're not scared. They're not gonna make you like love this character and then not kill him off. Like DC would have killed her off. Done. Over. We don't see her again.
Yeah.
Or Black Widow falls from 20 stories and like cracks her nose. That's it. She's fine. We have Harley Quinn fall. She'll fall, but she'll look bloody and gross, but she'll come up and be like, yeah, what's up, guys? But you can tell she's been hurt. Right. Whereas in Marvel, it's very much more comic-y, right? Yeah. You buy into the goofiness that is Reed Richards is going to grab or stretch his hand, right? But in like, what is it, Suicide Squad? You got the polka dot man, right? And he's got this, but he's still like so real, right?
Yeah.
Like he's so real in what he does, and his powers are kind of goofy, but there's still something real about it. The shark doesn't look like a cartoony shark. He's just King Shark, and you buy into it, right? Yeah. So like that's kind of what you look at. Like I definitely love Guardians because I like James Gunn, and that was my like teaser into Marvel, but like. I think you gotta pick and choose sometimes when you watch them. Like, you gotta figure out what to buy in, like theater and film, right? You buy into different things in theater, You buy into different things in film.
I thought it was really funny in the trailer for this movie. They show that scene with Johnny Storm getting kicked by Silver Surfer, and then he's falling to earth, and you're like, oh shit, how's he gonna get out of this? But in the movie, it just goes to the next scene. Like he doesn't have to get out of that at all. It's just done. Next scene. So what was the puzzle piece we were getting to over there?
Is The Incredibles.
Incredibles.
It felt like The Incredibles.
Family and superheroes.
Family, superheroes, quirky, a little bit of story.
The Underminer, Mole
The
Man.
Underminer, Mole Man.
Yeah.
So that's
100%.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Anybody else have something?
I was thinking Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo.
When Ben lifts at the car, I was waiting for him to be like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it was gonna happen.
Well, he's got his catchphrases. He just didn't want to say it, so you know. Yeah.
That's
They didn't force. I'm supporting her on that. They didn't force Ben Grimm's character to be a stereotypical strongman.
Sure. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't before in this movie,
No,
right? He's just a normal guy that's super smart.
Yeah. He likes to cook. He likes garlic. Did you have one over there?
Yeah, we'll go with Interstellar.
Yes, that was one I had written down as well.
Very good.
Got the
These
slingshot.
all Christopher Nolan
Independence
movies?
Yes.
That we've said?
Yeah, we did say
I
every
dislike Christopher Nolan.
every
This is
Christopher
gonna
Nolan
be
movie.
So annoying.
Independence Day, and of course, everything is Ghostbusters.
Yes.
1 and 2.
Ghostbusters 2 with the baby, of course. But Ghostbusters 1 with Stay Puft. Yeah, giant thing crushing its way through.
Yep.
So I love it. Absolutely. Gotta have that.
Love me.
But yeah, we got a lot of Christopher Nolan in here. Did I see a hand go up there?
Yeah, Joseph. I kept thinking of Superman 2, villains from outer space coming to New York.
Yeah.
And other movies where they all end up at Times Square. It seems like that's the nexus of, like.
That's where all the lights are.
That's where all the lights are, he says. Yeah, all these there's a lot of these superhero movies where that happens, where like
A
they end
minimum
up.
of 70% ratio, unless it's Tokyo with a giant lizard.
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, Superman 2, a great example of that for sure. And then like there's so many other superhero movies where that is exactly what happens. Yeah. Let's get into some closing thoughts here. Faith, anything else you want to mention that we didn't quite talk about?
No, I think we kind of hit it all. I like to mention that at Deadpool and Wolverine, I felt like we didn't know where the heck we were going. I still don't think we know exactly where we're going. I know we're all talking about Doctor Doom. I still don't. And then Kevin Feige said some stuff this week, like we're gonna restart the MCU, and he's gonna be gone. So
how do you do that?
I don't.
Yeah.
It's very confusing to my brain, and I'm curious to see what will happen. But I guess I'm just gonna take every movie for what it is and just kind of keep going. I think everyone should at this point, because it's not going to be Infinity War and Endgame. And maybe, I hope in 2 years that I might be wrong about what I just said.
Didn't he say today or yesterday or whatever it was that they never actually planned on Kang being a major part? And like the whole movie was called Kang's Dynasty or whatever.
He did.
Like,
He definitely did some backtracking recently, and I'm a little confused by it. And
Just give me a boat and some
Well, yeah,
oars,
I don't know. I mean, I think not that the firing of Jonathan Majors or anything, but I think it was kind of like perfect for it to happen, because I don't know how they couldn't have done a Doctor Doom heavy movie. Like Kang was important, like in like early 2023 or whatever for Ant-Man, but
Ant-Man flopped.
Well,
that
no.
was the problem. That was, I think, why he pivoted.
Well, I thought he was a weird Ant-Man villain to begin with.
Yeah.
I didn't think like why, but I didn't see Doctor Doom like is such a more impactful, like maybe in the comics like Kang is like more powerful or whatever, but like just Doom and what he his importance. So yeah.
Well, they're definitely drawing from comic book, right? Because Doctor Doom and Reed Richards have a rich history. So I've been
Huge.
told, and what I looked into, right? So I think it's natural that would be that would be what they gravitate toward in the end, especially.
Doom, to my knowledge, because here's where my degree goes from. It goes from anime and masters, bachelor in DCology, and I'm an associate in Marvel, so forgive me. So, like that. So where I'm going, and I agree with her, because Doom is everybody's protagonist, right? Antagonist, sorry. And short version is basically like Spider-Man. Okay, Spider-Man can team up with anybody. He's a street hero, but you see him team up with the X-Men. Doom is just out there. Like, he's very, very popular, and there's no range. I think that's where you guys are going for, to where he can go. And Kang is basically, and I support you on that, Kang is basically an Avengers-level threat. Like, Ant-Man came and got lucky. That's what I look at.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I still, it gives me the aneurysm, such wasted potential.
I love that anybody who's not like a big superhero fan here in the
Has
audience
no
is like,
idea.
what the hell are they talking
Well, I
about?
just hear crickets. Yeah.
None of this was in the movie we just watched. But, yeah.
Oh, but coming back to for the audience, then I'm gonna bail you on this.
No, you're-
Cutest baby ever. You guys gotta give me that. That kid is cute.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and he's got the heat vision to see the baby. So, you know.
Right? That's right.
No. Perry, anything else you wanted to mention before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think this is a really exciting time for superhero movies, both with Superman and now Fantastic Four. I did a rewatch of the three major attempts at the Fantastic Four movies: the 2005 one, and then 2007 one, and then the 2015 one. I grew up with the 2005 and 2007 ones.
Mm-hmm.
As a rewatch, they're kind of rough. A lot of the writing, the pacing, the direction of what they were doing with these characters. I love the campiness of it. You know, that early Thing costume is just so funny, so goofy.
Yeah.
So I love those. You know, part 2, they did some cool stuff with Silver Surfer, but definitely not as cool as with Shia LaBeouf in this one.
No.
Super cool for where this character can go now. Much more of like a backstory for it. They didn't really do anything with the 2007 Silver Surfer. And then the 2015 one, that one was rough.
Yeah.
They're all like college kids, and Victor in it is so bad. Again, just what is their intent with these characters? You know, why are they making this movie? So this one is so refreshing. The Fantastic Four, they're called Marvel's First Family, so definitely family oriented. The color scheme, the outfits, the time period, getting like the whole world to work together, that theme. I just thought it was so cool, such a great direction. And although they kind of rushed over how they got their powers and stuff and their mission to space and everything, I would have liked to see a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
But this movie flew by. I was waiting for more and more of this movie, and it flew by. So, could they have shown it? I guess, but I just thought it was tight story, good chemistry amongst these actors. So I'm just really happy with it. Really excited for where they can go with it.
Right on. CJack, any closing words here?
Real simple. I agree.
Yeah.
The origin was very brief. Okay, this is what happened. Cosmic rays. Now we're bringing back to the present. And we have medium plot here, and then we have the situation, and then here we are. It brings you back to original film stuff that you enjoy. It's just I don't know where this direction, like she said, I don't know where the direction was phase 3 and 4 was going.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's like they listen to the audience. It's like they sit down. Okay, this is where we messed up. This is what we do. Let's just scrap this and just go back to the basics. I loved it. So
Right on.
and I was very skeptical, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I was a little nervous after Superman because I loved Superman so much. I'm still gonna have a little time to digest both of them and give them rewatches and everything. But because of just like the feel of Superman, it just felt so different. So I was like, all right, well, Marvel, they're kind of hit and miss lately. Like, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
And they landed. It was a hit. Definitely different than Superman, but just really great. Really happy with it.
I actually think I might have liked this more than Superman, which
That's what I'm
is
saying.
very
It's-
surprising.
it's-
I wasn't
they're good.
expecting that at all.
It's
But
good.
yeah, both good though, absolutely. Well, let's get to some plugs here. Faith, where can people find you and everything you're up to?
So I have to plug my Twitch channel because that's what I'm doing most of my time with. So that's Captain Faith 149. You can also follow me on Instagram, StrongFaith1, and you can just click the link and you'll find everything. But I do have to plug one of my short films that we got second place. We won Best Writing, and Jackie Martin won Best Acting at the 49-Hour Film Festival 2 years ago. 1 year? I don't remember. That's now on my YouTube channel. It's called Shattered. So give it a watch. Yeah, Faith Nault Films on YouTube, StrongFaith1 on Instagram, Captain149 on Twitch.
There you
Captain
go.
Faith 149 on Twitch. There you go.
There you go. Perry, how about you? Anything you want to plug?
Just PerryLex13 on Instagram.
Right on. How about you, CJack?
CJack Productions on YouTube. I basically do. I briefly. I couldn't figure out what my channel wanted to be, so I did all 4 food groups. I did anime reviews. I basically reviews on shows and like that. I do on the spot. I went to San Diego Comic-Con, and I do interviews with voice actors, actual actors on my channel. Just CJack Productions on YouTube. That's CJack, like C in Jack Productions on YouTube.
Awesome. Beautiful. Well, I want to say we've got 3 more live shows I'm going to be announcing tomorrow, but for you guys that are here, The Naked Gun is next Friday, August 1st at Downtown Cinemas. Weapons will be back here at Maya Cinemas Thursday, August 7th. And then The Toxic Avenger at Downtown Cinemas Friday, August 29th. So super excited for 3 more shows in August. Thank you to Maya Cinemas for having us out today. And thank you to all of you for being here. And that's our show for today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Wax Trax Records here on 2909 South Decatur. We buy all your old 45s, your old albums, any type of music memorabilia. Also, we sell music memorabilia, albums, CDs, and a lot. Come on down to Wax Trax, 2909 South Decatur, or give me a call at 702-362-4300. Thank you very much.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about the Fantastic Four First Steps. Thank you to Maya Cinemas for having us out. Thank you so much to Faith Nault, Perry, Markle, and C Jack for joining me on that one. And thank you to everyone who showed up. And thank you to you for listening. If you're enjoying piecing it together, make sure you are subscribed wherever you're listening. You can also follow us on social media at Piecing Pod and join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where we continue the conversation about all the movies we talk about here on the show. I told you at the top of the show about all those live shows we got coming up in August. Make sure to enter to win some tickets at piecingpod.com. I'd love to see you out at some of these live shows. And with that, let's close this out with a piece of music like I always do. And the Fantastic Four, that seems like a good opportunity to play a song about my Fantastic Four, the Pup Pups. So let's see, what Pup Pup song would be a good fit here? The most recent Pup Pups album, 3 Chords and the Truth, is or 3 Chords and the Pooch. I am tripping over my words here. 3 Chords and the Pooch is all about my dog Harvey. So I'm not going to play one from there because that wouldn't fit. But let's see, what's one that would fit from one of the other albums? Okay, I'm going to go with a song called Pick You Up, which is a song about picking up my pets one at a time and just walking around the room with them. And they have no idea what I have planned. I have nothing planned. I'm just going to pick them up and walk around a little bit. And then when I'm done, I'll put them down. So that's what Pick You Up is about. Hope you enjoy it. And you can find all of the Pup Pups albums on Bandcamp right now. There's vinyl of 2 of the albums, CDs of the others. And check out the Pup Pups also on streaming. And we'll be back with more Piecing It Together real soon. I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna walk around. And when I pick you up, I ain't putting you down. I'm gonna pick you up and walk around. Don't worry, little dog, I won't drop you on the ground. Just gonna take you and walk around this room, and I'll put you back where I found you soon. I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna walk around, and when I pick you up, I ain't putting you down. Don't worry, little kitty, don't worry, little cat, I'll put you back where I found you, yeah. But first I gotta take you where I gotta go. Where I gotta go, well, nobody knows. I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna walk around, and when I pick you up, I ain't putting you down. I'm gonna pick you up.
an All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.